last 10 years on the flat have seen the retirement of Lester Piggott and the arrival of the MacToom family. The Kentucky kid, Steve Cawthon, has made England his home and teamed up with Henry Cecil to form the country's most powerful trainer-jockey combination. Cad Edery and Willie Carson, Dick Hearn and Michael Stout are the champions of the 80s. Shergar and Troy, two great Derby winners, but both tragically fated at stud. Triple Crown winner Oh So Sharp, Dancing Brave, Habibti and Ashdal, Lamos and Ardross. From 5 furlongs to 2.5 miles, the Great Races covers 10 years of champions across the flat.
And as they come down now into the straight,
during the early 70s, the Derby was more often than not won by an American horse. But at the end of the decade, victory went to 2 homebreds, Shirley Heights in 1978 and the following year Troy, winning by a record margin in the hands of Willie Carson.
On the far rails, it's Leafard's Wish from Milford, who's trying to get on terms. Coming to join the leaders, Northern Baby. Then on the outside is Dickens Hill. Dickens Hill coming up to join them. And at the 2 furlong pole, and it's Leafard's Wish and Dickens Hill with Troy making rapid headway as Milford drops back. Troy coming down, and it's now Troy who's just struck the front. They're coming inside the final furlong, and it's Troy who's stormed into the lead from Dickens Hill, approaching the line, and Troy is out on his own from Dickens Hill, Northern Baby and Elamana Moo.
The other leading 3-year-old that year was Chris, surprisingly beaten by Tap on Wood in the 2,000 guineas, but restoring his reputation in the St James's Palace Stakes at Royal Ascot.
Mr Neil, Chris, Young Generation. Starting to make the long turn round into the straight, 3.5 furlongs to race. Alert with Mr Neil on the outside, then Foveros on the inside of Chris, and Young Generation in 5th. Into the straight, 2.5 furlongs to race. Alert, Mr Neil, Chris on the outside, followed closely by Young Generation. Into the final quarter mile, Alert, Chris, Young Generation. These 3 coming away from Mr Neil and Foveros. As they race towards the final furlong, it's Chris from Young Generation on the outside. As they race in the final furlong, Chris on the rails, Young Generation. As they race on towards the line, it's Chris holding Young Generation. As they come up towards the line, Chris winning from Young Generation, Alert and Foveros.
The outstanding starer of the time was the Henry Cecil-trained Le Moss, the winner of the Ascot Gold Cup in 1979 and following up a year later.
Vincent, Arapaho is close up 3rd, Ardross is 4th, Noble Saint is beginning to make headway, but some lengths behind the leaders as they swing into the straight with Lamas on the rails from Vincent. These 2 are clear from Arapaho and Ardross. Noble Saint is continuing to make headway, Buttress making a little headway also, and Croque Monsieur dropping right out. 2 furlongs from home, and it's Lamas from Ardross and Vincent. These 3 are clear from Arapaho, and as they race towards the final furlong, it is Lamas still in the lead from Ardross. These 2 going away from Vincent, and inside the last furlong, it is Lamas holding Ardross, approaching the line. Lamas continuing to lead from Ardross and Vincent.
A month later at Glorious Goodwood, Le Moss was again confronted by Ardross, and this time there was only a neck in it.
New Jerusalem moves into 4th, and the back marker is now Vicomte, and they've 3 to go now with Le Moss still pounding away in the lead, and still a 2-length leader from Ardross. Fight might be 2.5. Ardross being moved out to a challenging position. New Jerusalem's made good headway, and close up behind these 2. Donegal Prince relegated to 4th, and Vicomte last to the 5. And little to choose with a furlong and a half to race between Ardross and Le Moss. They come inside the distance. Le Moss possibly on the rail just ahead. It's very fractional, however, with a half furlong, and Le Moss certainly holding on to this, maybe improving it just a little bit. And close home now, Le Moss, Ardross, New Jerusalem.
Originally trained in Ireland, Charles St George bought Ardross and put him in training with Henry Cecil. It was a shrewd purchase, quickly repaid with the first of his 2 wins in the 81 Gold Cup.
4.5 furlongs to race. Ardross, Pragmatic, Aoban shoot a line, and as they pass the half-mile marker, it's Ardross on the outside, Aoban on the rails, Pragmatic and shoot a line moving up into 3rd. Starting to turn into the straight, 3 furlongs to race. Ardross on the outside of Aoban, then shoot a line on the outside of these 2. Pragmatic drop back 4th. Coming up to the quarter-mile marker, and it's Ardross who's gone to the front now from Shooter Line in second, then Aobon and Pragmatic, and as they race on towards the final furlong, it's Ardross playing with Shooter Line, and as they go into the final furlong, Ardross drawing away now from Shooter Line, and as they go to the line, it is Ardross to give Pickett his 10th Gold Cup, Shooter Line and Aobon.
But the star of 81 was undoubtedly the Aga Khan's brilliant chestnut, Shergar, who justified the odds laid on him in the Derby with a contemptuous win.
Riberetto and Silver Season with Shergar on their outside. Scintillating Air has gone fourth, and these four are clear from Shotgun and Church Parade. 3 furlongs out, and Shergar has struck the front. Shergar has stormed into the lead, going 2 lengths clear from Silver Season. Shotgun is making steady headway, so too is Church Parade. But as they come down the straight, it is Shergar lengthening his stride to go clear, with Shotgun improving, so too is Church Parade and Scintillating Air. But it is Shergar out on his own as they come to the final furlong, with Shergar striding home a very long way clear from Scintillating Air. Glint of Gold is moving through into second place, but as they come to the line, it is Shergar very long way clear of Glint of Gold. And
2 months later, with victory in the Irish Derby also to his credit, Shergar took on the older horses at Ascot. Once Walter Swinburne made his challenge, the result was never in doubt.
Madam Gay, Fingal's Cave, Crackerval is making a move from the rear of the field, but as they begin to make the turn into the straight, it is Master Willie who leads from Light Cavalry, Madam Gay and Shergar on the rails, coming into the straight with 2.5 furlongs to race, and it is Master Willie the leader from Madam Gay and Shergar. Pellerin has dropped back to last. They've got 2 furlongs to race, and Shergar trying now to come through on the rails to join Master Willie. Madam Gay is upsides with them, but as they come to the final furlong, and it is Shergar who leads from Madam Gay. Fingal's Cave putting in a strong challenge, but inside the last 200 yards, and Shergar has majestically stormed into the lead, approaching the line. Shergar out on his own from Fingal's Cave and Madam Gay.
There was plenty of controversy over whether English 2,000 guineas winner Toagori Moo or King's Lake, winner of the Irish equivalent, was the best miler that year. Toagori Moo got first blood at Ascot.
This one, followed by Shah Savan. Then after these, another Realm just in the next position, followed by Great Substance. On the outside, Prince Echo a close last. 3 furlongs to race now. Belba lead, a length leader as they straighten up from Rubberlino. King's Lake's on the outside with Shah Savan. Toagori Moo moving up quickly on the inside. Toagori Moo as they pass the 2 furlong pole. King's Lake a length away. Belba lead a little bit more than this away in 3rd place. Rubberlino runs 4. Prince Echo and another Realm after this, and Great Substance between them. Shah Savan on the outside, inside the distance. Toagori Moo still by this same length, a half furlong to race, and it is Toagori Moo holding King's Lake. Close home, Toagori Moo, King's Lake, a long gap to Belba lead.
The rematch was at Goodwood, where feelings ran pretty high. This time, King's Lake got the verdict.
Delsan races on the inside, Matterboy as the back marker. Closely bunched, however, and they come round past the 4 furlong pole. Belmont Bay, Last Fandango, this one about 3/4 of a length away now. Then all in a very tight bunch, we have Toagori Moo. On the outside of this one, Alphesia on the inner, King's Lake and Noelto only just after these. Delson now moving out to challenge on the outside, and they've got 2 furlongs to go. Belmont Bay and Last Fandango together, joined now by Toagori Moo and Delson. King's Lake's on the inside, less than a length away, then Noelto and Matterboy. They've got 1.5 furlongs to race now, and it's Toagori Moo from Belmont Bay on the inside, King's Lake between these 2. Delson then in 4th place. They come down to the last 100 yards, and King's Lake takes it up. 50 yards, King's Lake, Toagori Moo.
The first of the sprint stars in the 80s was the Michael Stout-trained filly, Marwell, who followed up a win in the King's Stand with victory in the July Cup.
Very quickly away, and that's the early leader. And Cutthroat well over on the far side, Marwell chasing the leader, and so is Ancient Regime as they come down towards the end of a furlong and a half. Stand Down in the lead, clear by a couple of lengths from Marwell, who's over on the far side of it. And then comes Ancient Regime, Tina's Pet showing a lot of speed. Then More Style, that's rather towards the stand side, the chasing group who are coming after Stand On as they come past halfway. Stand On still in the lead from Marwell, and then comes More Style making good headway down the middle of the course, and it's almost taken the lead now. More Style, just the leader now from Marwell, who's over on the far side of it. Then comes Cutthroat, then improving well is Sonoma, but as they go up inside the final furlong, and it's Marwell who's taken the lead of a good length from More Style. Then making good headway comes Prince Echo as they go to the last half furlong, and Marwell a couple of lengths clear from More Style in second place. A race for third between Sonoma and Prince Echo.
The following year, the July Cup went to Sharpo, with whom Jeremy Tree also scored a hat-trick of wins in the William Hill Sprint Championship at York.
Hunter on the outside of the group nearest the stands, racing down towards the halfway point of the race, with Kind Music just about in front in the centre of the field from Tina's Pet, who's made headway towards the far side. Indian King is within a length and a half the leader on the far rails, and Croft Hall's making headway towards the stand side in company with Diamond Cutter. So they come down now to the final furlong and a half, where Tina's Pet just about in front, but being challenged now by Indian King on the far rails, Gabitat showing some good speed on the far side, and Vaguely Star on the stand side, and so too is Tender King coming on the stand side. Inside the final furlong, Vaguely Star, Sharpo putting in a good challenge. Vaguely Star, Sharpo, Indian King on the rails, but going to the line it's Sharpo and Vaguely Star, the close leaders.
And then there was Habibti, the champion sprinter of '83, who capped a fine career with this dramatic win in the '84 King's Stand at Royal Ascot.
Away from Pampas, showing good speed on the stand side is Sikios, and at the end of the first furlong, it's Sikios showing just in the lead from on the far side Saif El Arab with Yellow Domino close up. Just behind the leaders comes Habibti together with Pretorius. They've split virtually into two groups, and the group on the far side are now led by Saif Al Arab from Anita's Prince. Right on the stand side, racing on his own, is Yellow Domino. In the centre is Sikios from Habibti. But as they come down towards the final furlong, on the far side, it's Saif Al Arab and Anita's Prince, with right in the centre of the course, Habibti finishing strongly. But as they race for the line, and it's Anita's Prince and Saif Al Arab from Habibti going for the line, Anita's Prince from Habibti and Saif Al Arab.
Though Sober couldn't quite match the brilliance of the others, she was the most popular sprinter around, and first served notice of her ability when winning the Stewards' Cup in 1982.
And at the end of the first furlong, it's Sober on the stand side who leads. Sober, Mummy's Choice, comes up to join Gabitat in second place. Then in the centre of the course, just after these, comes Jaquinta, while racing on the far side in close company, Lindsay on the rails. Just on the outside of Lindsay comes Cyril's Choice and Touch Boy not far away, and also in the centre of the course, Pagapas Bay. So down to the 2 furlong pole, it's Sober on the stand side, who's a clear leader, and they've got a furlong and a half to go. Sober, who played up on the way to the start. Bracadell makes ground on the far side, Gabitat in the centre. On the far side, then Celestial Dancer, but it's still Sober, and they come to the final 100 yards of the race. Sober, who must have led for much of the journey. After these Bracadell, Celestial Dancer, Mummy's Pleasure is in fourth.
The 1983 Classic crop produced some exceptional horses, and Ma Biche set the standard in the 1,000 guineas. Perhaps the most significant feature of her win was that it signalled the tremendous purchasing power of the Mactoum family.
And also towards the rear is Shoreline, and with that order back the grandstand.
So racing up towards the 4.5 furlong from home point, with Annie Edge in the centre. Then towards the stand side comes Flamenco and Shoreline just behind these. Ma Biche making some headway. Towards the outside comes Royal Heroine. They've got about 3.5 furlongs left to race, and Annie Edge in the centre of the group, with towards the stand side Flamenco, and then after these comes Rhea Roberta. She's well up just with behind the leaders. Royal Heroine comes up to take issue as they come to the bushes. 2.5 furlongs to go. Royal Heroine showing in front of Rhea Roberta. Then after these, Annie Edge, Faveridge coming with a steady run. Ma Biche still going well on the stand side. Habibti under some pressure just behind. They come now to the final furlong, and it's Ma Biche who comes to take it up. Ma Biche is the leader. Faveridge finishing fast on the far side. But 100 yards to go, and it's Ma Biche Mabishu leads. Faveridge putting in a strong challenge on the far side. Royal Heroine still well there, but it's Mabish just holding on with 50 yards to go. Mabish is the leader from Faveridge, and Royal Heroine close home. It's Mabishu lead.
The Derby and Oaks that year were run in very testing ground, with a premium on stamina. Lester Pickett knew the conditions were tailor-made for Tinoso, and he made the most of them.
To race. Mittalini is in the lead from Tinoso with Narayan on the outside. Then behind Narayan comes Wassel, who's beginning to make a forward move. They're into the straight, and Tinoso has now struck the front. Tinoso has struck the front 2.5 furlongs from home, with Guns of Navarone coming up into second, then Wassel, and behind Wassel, Morcon. They've got 2 furlongs to race, and it is Tinoso out on his own. Tinoso out on his own from Guns of Navarone. Salmon Leap is trying to get on terms with the leaders, but as they come down inside the final furlong, and it is Tinoso who is clear from Carlingford Castle, coming up into second place, approaching the line, and Tinoso has led the whole way up the straight. Tinoso well clear from Carlingford Castle, and then Sheer Walk and Salmon Leap.
The talking horse in '83 was Sharif Dancer, kept in cotton wool and rarely seen. But he silenced his critics with an impressive burst of speed in Royal Ascot's King Edward VII Stakes, and then went on to beat Tinoso in the Irish Derby.
Then after this, a Donejar with Howard Bloody just a half length away. On the inside, Sharif Dancer. The hot touch comes after these. Russian Rubles and Branch Line together. 3 furlongs to go as they enter the straight. Pallavicino going back to the others now, and just a bare length leader as they come up towards the quarter-mile mark. Donejar, in fact, takes up the running before they come to the 2 furlong pole. Sharif Dancer has quickened to come up to challenge, and is upsides with 1.5 furlongs to go. After this, Howard Bloody, and on the outside, Russian Rubles, the earlier leader, quickly out of it, and it's Sharif Dancer as they come down to the final 1/2 furlong. With less than this to race now, Sharif Dancer by just a length. Russian Rubles is the challenger, but it's Sharif Dancer, Russian Rubles, Howard Bloody.
But the star of Royal Ascot that year was the Irish-trained 5-year-old Stenera, who slammed her rivals in the Prince of Wales and then repeated the medicine a few days later here in the Hardwick Stakes.
Pair, which are La Fontaine on the outside of Old Country, and there's still little to choose between the two, and they remain clear of Criterion. Stenera, who's made ground and come up to join this one in third, and Electric is between the two now as they enter the straight. 2.5 furlongs to race now. La Fontaine, Stenera upsides and taking it up well before the 2 furlong pole. So at the quarter it is Stenera who has gone clear. Electric on the outside takes second from La Fontaine. Criterion is after these, and Be My Native and Gel Mood. Misa even after these in Old Country and Say Primula. And the leaders coming inside the distance now. Stenera, Electric in hot pursuit, and these two going away from the others. They've got a 1/2 furlong to go. Stenera for the second time this week. Close home now, Stenera. From on the outside then Electric, and then a long gap to Be My Native.
The Robert Sangster, Vincent O'Brien, Pat Edry team picked up the 1983 and 84 runnings of the Eclipse. The first to collect was Salford.
From in second place Lobkowitz. After these, Ptolomeo is third, and then comes Salford towards the outside 4. Prima Voce trying to get on terms with Salford towards the outside. They come now to the final 3 furlongs. La Fontaine continuing to lead. Ptolomeo has come into second ahead of Lobkowitz. Guns of Navarone on the rails. Muscatite on the rails trying to get through. So too is Stanera in the centre. Salford is making headway on the outside. 1.5 furlongs to race. There's little to choose between Salford, who comes up to join Ptolomeo, and La Fontaine. Then after these comes Stanera and Time Charter coming to the furlong marker, and it's Salford with the advantage. Salford leads towards the stand side from Ptolomeo. Then comes Muscatite making headway. Going for the line, it's Salford who leads. Muscatite finishing fast. Salford and Ptolomeo and Muscatite.
And the following year, Pat Edry rode an almost identical race to bring home the Irish 2,000 guineas winner, Sadler's Wells.
4 furlongs to go now. Society Boy still with a 6, 7, probably near a 7 length advantage as they enter the straight now and come up towards the 3 furlong boy. So at the marker here we have Society Boy well clear. Sadler's Wells. On the outside is Crystal Glitters, having made a place or two. On the inner is Wassell, still close. Morcon after this line. Cormorant on the outside of Time Charter, then Ptolomeo, then Miramar Reef. 2 furlongs to go. Society Boy going back to the others, but still by a couple of lengths. Just a furlong to race now, and it's Society Boy with on the outside Sadler's Wells now putting in a run, and on the outside Crystal Glitters. Just after these comes Time Charter and then Wassell, all pretty close. But it is, as they come up towards the last half, Sadler's Wells, Time Charter making a bit of ground, Morcon on the outside, but it's Sadler's Wells, Time Charter.
Many had felt that Tinoso's win in the Derby had been solely attributable to the going being in his favour. But the following year at Ascot, Lester Piggott had the chance to prove it was no fluke with a masterful ride, and Sadler's Wells had to give second best.
Tinoso has regained the lead as his honour fades rapidly. Tinoso from Sun Princess in second. Sadler's Wells on the rails is third. Darshan is fourth. Then comes Time Charter 5, Ptolomeo 6, and after these Magwal. Turning into the straight with 2.5 furlongs left to race. Tinoso on the rails is the leader. The challenger is Sun Princess. Coming in between the pair of them is Sadler's Wells. Ptolomeo is fourth. Darshan 5, Time Charter 6, and they have a furlong and a half left to race. Tinoso maintains the advantage from Sadler's Wells. Ptolomeo is third, Sun Princess 4, Time Charter 5, and well inside the final furlong. It's Tinoso who leads from Sadler's Wells. Ptolomeo is third. These are ahead of Sun Princess and Time Charter, but going for the line, it's Tinoso, the clear leader. Sadler's Wells is in second, and Ptolomeo is in third.
Leicester was also called upon to pull out all the stops when getting home Comanche Run in that year's St. Leger.
Baynoon now being produced for a run up on the outside. Half a furlong, half a mile to run in the St. Leger, and it's Comanche Run now taking it up. Comanche Run goes into the lead, followed by Baynoon in second place. Shernazar coming in third. After these three and making ground now is Crazy. Under the whip is Get the Message. 2.5 furlongs to run, and it's Comanche Run being pressed now by Shernazar and Baynoon. Both these two in the Aga Khan's colours. Comanche Run only just leads from Baynoon and Shernazar. Nothing between these three. Crazy finishing fast over on the inside, but it's just Comanche Run from Shernazar and Baynoon. Baynoon coming now to challenge Comanche Run. Then to the final furlong, and it's Comanche Run from Baynoon. Nothing in it as they race up towards the line, and it's just Comanche Run. Comanche Run and Lester Piggott. Lester Piggott and Comanche Run from Baynoon.
It was the milers who dominated events in 1984, and El Gran Senor was the first to make his mark in the hottest 2,000 guineas since Brigadier Gerard beat Mill Reef back in 1971.
And after Chief Singer is Bountiful, and they've got 5 furlongs to race.
So Leofan continues to set the pace towards the rails. Native Charmer a length behind him, one off the rails. These two tracked by El Gran Senor. Towards the outside comes Crag and Soar, and also making headway is Keen, followed by King's Island. They come to the final 2.5 furlongs, and it's still Leofan leading. From in second place now El Gran Senor with Keen disputing second on the outside, and then after these comes Rainbow Quest and Chief Singer as they come to the final 2 furlongs, with El Gran Senor coming smoothly to take up the running. Chief Singer on the stands rails. It's El Gran Senor and Chief Singer. These two going clear of Leofan, and after these Keen and Rainbow Quest, but going for the line, it's El Gran Senor with a clear advantage. Chief Singer's in second, Leofan's in third. Close home, El Gran Senor is clear.
After that, El Gran Senor just failed to see the Derby trip out and finished second to Secreto. But the Guineas runner-up Chief Singer kept to the shorter trips, first picking up the St. James's Palace Stakes.
And Condriac is in the lead by just over 2 lengths, with Keen in second place. Kalim is third. Harvard has dropped right out of contention. They're turning into the straight with Condriac the leader. Keen is second with Kalim third. Chief Singer has come up to be fourth, followed by Esperanto. The leaders beginning to bunch up as they come to the 2 furlong pole, where Keen now has just struck the front from Chief Singer. Behind Chief Singer comes Kalim. Condriac is dropping out very rapidly, and as they race down towards the final furlong, and it is Chief Singer who stormed clear from Keen with Kalim in third place, and as they race for the line, and it is Chief Singer out on his own, followed by Keen and Kalim.
Chief Singer then dropped down 2 furlongs and showed a high-class field of sprinters a clean pair of heels in the July Cup at Newmarket. 3 weeks later at Goodwood, it was back to putting the milers in their place. And to add insult to injury, the runner-up Roussillon was disqualified by the stewards.
Still by the same margin, it's about a length. Wassel on the outside, then tracking the leader on the rails is Roussillon. On the outside of this one is Proceda. Chief Singer remains on the rail. 3 furlongs to go. And we have Craggansaw still from Wassel, Roussillon, Chief Singer on the far side, a bit closer, Proceda, now the back marker, but little between all 5 in fact. 2 furlongs to race now. Craggansaw on the outside, about to be joined by Roussillon, Chief Singer running on the rails, and this one closes steadily. Roussillon and Chief Singer, as they come down to the furlong pole, they go away from Craggansaw, who's a long way from Wassel, and the back marker is Proceda. Coming into the final half furlong now, Chief Singer on the rails, Roussillon on the outside, about a half length between these two, and it's Chief Singer from Roussillon. Big gap to crack.
There were some cracking fillies around that year as well, with Katie's upsetting 1,000 guineas winner Pebbles in the Coronation Stakes.
Desirable has gone up third, Katie's comes fourth, behind Katie's is Sign of Life as the leaders now start to make the turn towards the straight. Leipzig in the lead by 2 lengths from Pebbles, with Katie's on the outside, followed by Desirable and a Sign of Life. They've got just over 2 furlongs to race. Leipzig on the rails being pressed by Pebbles and Katie's. These 3 have gone clear of the remainder, with So Fine making a little headway, and as Leipzig drops back rapidly, it is Pebbles who has taken up the running from Katie's. These 2 drawing right away from the remainder, and as they come down inside the last 150 yards, and it is Katie's who stormed through into the lead ahead of Pebbles, approaching the line. Katie's from Pebbles and finishing strongly, So Fine.
The filly of the 80s was Oh So Sharp, the first Triple Crown scorer of her sex since Meld in 1955. The first leg came in the 1,000 guineas at Newmarket.
Is close behind them, Cashy Lagoon towards the stand side, Ula Lang not far behind towards the far rails. So they race up towards the final 3 furlongs, up towards the bushes. Bella Calora on the far rail, Alba Hathry 1 off the rails, these 2 very close. K Simpatica, Triptych towards the stand side making steady headway, Oh So Sharp making steady ground, these followed by Ula Lang and Merle and Hilly, and after these comes Villicaire followed by Aviance. They come to the final quarter mile in the 1,000 guineas. Bella Calora being strongly challenged by Alba Hathry. These 2 are clear of Oh So Sharp, and then after these comes Triptych and Villicaire finishing well. Ill inside the final furlong, little to choose between Alba Hathry and Bella Calora. These 2 a length or so clear of Oh So Sharp in third, then after this Villicaire 4 going for the line, Bella Calora just in front.
On to Epsom for the Oaks, and Oh So Sharp's principal challenger was the French filly Triptych, making what was to become the first of many visits to English racecourses.
In the lead from Perfect Match, and behind these comes Romantic Feeling. They're turning into the straight with just over 3 furlongs to race, and it's Petradia from Triptych, Oh So Sharp, and behind Oh So Sharp, Bella Calora and Dubian as they come now to the final 2 furlongs, and Oh So Sharp is now coming to challenge and pass Triptych. Oh So Sharp has now stormed into the lead, and it's Oh So Sharp who has gone clear, storming home. Oh So Sharp is clear from Triptych and Dubian. Oh So Sharp storming home from Triptych and Dubian.
The final leg of Oh So Sharp's Triple Crown came when she met the colts in the St Leger. Her biggest danger was more the distance of the race than the quality of opposition, but Steve Cawthon always had matters under control.
After these, Cosdar and Willie Carson and Oh So Sharp Steve Cawthon at the 4 furlong pole now, and Lanfranco continues to lead. Lanfranco followed on the outside by Oh So Sharp, now coming up to challenge. Coming to the final 3 furlongs, it's Lanfranco leading. Oh So Sharp is now second and seemingly full of running. After her comes Fardante making headway, then Cosdar, then Nemain. Troy Fair, who was second, is dropped right out of it, that's last. And it's now Oh So Sharp. 2 furlongs to go, and it's Oh So Sharp who's taken it up from her stable companion Lanfranco, who is under the whip. and it's oh so sharp from Lanfranco. Fardante running on well, so is the outsider Nemain, but it's oh so sharp with a furlong to run. Oh so sharp from Fardante and Lanfranco. Nemain running on strongly and running up towards the line. It's oh so sharp in front. Oh so sharp comes to win the Triple Crown. Close home, oh so sharp in front.
The only classic Steve Cawthon did not win in '85 was the 2,000 guineas. The race marked the end of an era. His victory on Shadid was Lester Piggott's final classic win.
On the far side, Nafizio's not far behind. Then after these come over the ocean as they come up now to the final 2 furlongs, with Shadid having a clear lead from Bern in second. Then after these, Supreme Leaders third as they come to the final furlong in the Guineas. It's Shadid the leader, Bern challenging strongly in third place, Supreme Leader, Bassenthwaite 4, Royal Harmony 5, and racing uphill. Shadid being strongly challenged by Bern in second with 100 yards to go. Shadid is the leader in the Guineas, Shadid from Bern, and then after these comes Supreme Leader.
The Derby that year was won by Slip Anchor, who gave Steve Cawthon his first win in the Premier Classic, and it was repaid with a compliment of the best he'd ridden.
Petoskey is second, Supreme Leader is in third place. They're coming into the straight. They have just over 3 furlongs to race, and a little bit of headway being made by Theatrical. Law Society is trying to get on terms, but as they come towards the final 2 furlongs, and it is Slip Anchor maintaining his clear lead. Slip Anchor storming home, Law Society in second place, Supreme Leader is third, Slip Anchor, the clear leader, coming to the final furlong, and Slip Anchor has never been headed throughout the race. Slip Anchor winning the Derby from in second place, Law Society, and finishing quite strongly, Damaster. Slip Anchor, the leader at the line.
When they stepped up against older opposition, Oh So Sharp and Slip Anchor, troubled by injury, did not fare as well. In the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, Rainbow Quest looked Oh So Sharp's main danger. Surprisingly, it was another 3-year-old, Petoskey, who stole the show.
And the running now being made by Infantry. As August fades rapidly, Infantry's in front of Oh So Sharp in second, Rainbow Quest is third. Then after these comes Tresium on the inside, 4, Law Society 5, and then after these comes Raft making headway as they come to the final 2 furlongs. Infantry on the rails, Rainbow Quest on the stand side. Coming between the pair of them is Oh So Sharp as they come to the final furlong. It's Oh So Sharp who strikes the front from Rainbow Quest in second. Petoskey's gone third, Infantry's 4, but it's Oh So Sharp being strongly pressed by Rainbow Quest in second and Petoskey, but Oh So Sharp with the advantage. Petoskey challenging strongly and going for the line. Oh So Sharp and Petoskey from Rainbow Quest.
At York, Oh So Sharp again had to give second best in the Benson and Hedges Gold Cup, in a thrilling tussle with Comanche Run and Triptyque.
From the start in this Benson and Hedges Gold Cup, the leaders now into the final straight and coming to the final half mile with Comanche Run getting first run on the others. Oh So Sharp is second. Here comes Triptyque being unleashed for a run on the outside. Approaching the final 3, Comanche Run still ahead, followed by Oh So Sharp and the second filly Triptyque. Then Supreme Leader in 4th, Palace Music tracking these 4th leaders. Bob Back still very close, running down to the final 2, and it's Comanche Run leading still from Oh So Sharp and Triptyque. Into the final furlong and a half, Comanche Run and Lester Piggott in his last season as a jockey. Comanche Run from Oh So Sharp and Triptyque, and Comanche Run is still in front. Into the final furlong, Comanche Run from Oh So Sharp, then Triptyque. These 3 have gone clear now, Supreme Leader, Palace Music and Bob Back, but close home it's Comanche Run making all the running to win from the favourite Oh So Sharp.
Slip Anchor's final racecourse appearance as a 3-year-old was in the Champion Stakes, but the Derby winner couldn't find the pace to cope with Pebbles.
Supreme Leader on the stands rails, after these Vertige, and then Comanche Run towards the outside, poised right on the heels of the leader. Helen Street not far behind, Pebbles making a forward move, followed by Aunt Edict. They race up now towards the bushes, and it's still in the lead, Slip Anchor and Comanche Run, and then there's a gap of a length to Pebbles, who goes very easily into third. Slip Anchor the leader as they pass the bushes. pushes. Then Comanche Run, Helen Street on the outside. Pebbles comes to join them as they come now to the final 2 furlongs with Slip Anchor on the stand side. Helen Street and Pebbles, and it's Pebbles cruising into the lead from Helen Street. Slip Anchor comes next, then after these Palace Music and into the final furlong, and it's Pebbles who strides clear. 2 lengths, 3 lengths, Pebbles leading, and comes Slip Anchor, Palace Music, Helen Street going for the line. Pebbles is clear of Helen Street and Slip Anchor.
Pebbles was one of the most popular fillies in training, and everyone loved and admired her fighting qualities. And she needed all she'd got to beat Rainbow Quest in the Eclipse earlier that season.
And they come round to the final 4 furlongs and end of the straight. August in command still, the lead reduced to just over 2 lengths here. Pebbles tracking this one, but moving out now to a challenging position. Rainbow Quest gets a bit closer on the outside. Bob Back is close up between these last 2, and they've got just over a quarter of a mile to race. Pebbles hits the front at this point. Rainbow Quest moves rapidly into 2nd place. After this, Bob Back in 3rd, and the pacemaker August now back last to the 4. Furlong and a half to go, and it is Pebbles, the filly, coming up to the final furlong pole with a 2-length advantage from Rainbow Quest. Bob Back a length and a half away in 3rd, but improving on this. August a long way off in 4th, and it is Pebbles, the first filly to win this race. Pebbles comes home, Rainbow Quest, Bob Back in 3rd.
Meanwhile, on the sprinting front, Never So Bold carried all before him. Sandwiched between victories in the King's Stand and the William Hill Sprint Championship was this win in the July Cup.
And we have Defana on the far side, Abba on the outside, coming to challenge now. Defana on the outer, and Never So Bold making a great run. This one going very fast indeed. So out of the depth now with Never So Bold going clear, and pretty readily at that. Inside the last 100 yards, Never So Bold, Defana and Committed Dispute 2nd.
Last Tycoon took the sprinting honours in 1986, and the French challenger first put his English rivals in their place at Royal Ascot. Cash Asmussen bringing him home in the King's Stand.
The centre, Storm Warning also quickly into a stride. On the outside of this one we have Petrovic moving rather closer, comes Welsh Note. On the outside, Nomination and Last Tycoon, the back markers at this point. Double Schwartz, after this one Polycrates, last of all is Sharp Romance. So they're 2.5 furlongs from home now, all still pretty tightly bunched. On the far side, Storm Warning. Favourers has come up to challenge this leading line now, and also Gwydion is closed. Then after this, towards the outside, Last Tycoon makes headway, and they come up to the final furlong pole now, still in a tight bunch. Last Tycoon, however, is just the leader. Double Schwartz running on near side. Not much between these two. Just after them, we have Gwydion. Up towards the line, it's Last Tycoon by a small margin. Double Schwartz very close.
The early stages of the 1986 season were dominated by the bids of Dancing Brave and Midway Lady for dual classic success at Newmarket and Epsom. Midway Lady kicked off with a fine win in the 1,000 guineas and came to Epsom as a firm favourite for the Oaks.
Close behind these, Dave Emma on the rails, Laughter towards the outside, Rejuvenate close behind on the outside, and right poised on the heels of these is Tralthea as they swing now into the straight, just under a half mile to go, with towards the inside and going on now Untold leading from Laughter. Asteroid Field is 3rd, Rejuvenate 4, and then after these Tralthea 5 and Midway Lady making ground towards the leaders with May Soon as they race down now to the final 2 furlongs. Untold with a clear 2-length advantage. May Soon is 2nd with going into dispute 2nd on the inside, Midway Lady. Colour Spin's gone 4, and then after these Asteroid Field 5, but it's Untold and May Soon and Midway Lady, these 3 clear inside the final furlong. Untold on the rails, Midway Lady one off the rails. It's Midway Lady and Untold. May Soon's in 3rd and going to the line. Midway Lady's the leader. Midway Lady from Untold and May Soon.
14 lined up against Dancing Brave in the 2,000 guineas, but Greville Starkey was always biding his time, and his well-timed challenge quickly settled the issue.
Close up on the outside of this one, and followed by Shore Blade, and with just over 4 furlongs to go, it is Hail to Roberto.
So Hail to Roberto's made all the running so far, and he's just quickening up the pace. Dancing Brave's a length behind him. Vainglorious on the stand side with Cherut fading. Faustus is making headway towards the outside of the group, and so too is Tate Gallery as they come to the final 3 furlongs in the general accident 2,000 guineas. Hail to Roberto yet to be headed in the race. Right behind him, Dancing Brave. Hallgate coming with a steady run, so too is Huntingdale as they come into the final 2 furlongs. And it's Faustus and Dancing Brave now from Hail Trail to Roberto. These three are clear of Huntingdale and Vainglorious, and inside the final furlong, it's Dancing Brave who goes clear. Dancing Brave from Green Desert in second. Huntingdale's third, but going for the line. Dancing Brave striding clear of Green Desert and Huntingdale.
As a result of that win, Dancing Brave supporters were full of confidence for the Derby. But by the time Greville Starkey poured him out to make his challenge, Shahrastani had gone beyond recall.
Making some ground towards the leaders is Mashcore and also Dancing Brave. They sweep down the hill towards Tattenham Corner, and it's still Nomrude who's the leader from Faraway Dancer now second. After these, Shahrastani is third, and then towards the outside comes Arakar making some ground towards the leaders. With towards the inside is Sharud as they come into the straight, 2.5 furlongs to go. Nomrude, who's made every yard of the running, is still the leader. Faraway Dancer is second, making a run towards the stand side is Shahrastani. Close behind these comes Niznaz, and then comes Then Again, and then Flash of Steel. Dancing Brave towards the stand side, and Ali Milord on the stand side. They've got just under 2 furlongs to race, and Shahrastani has struck the front in the Eveready Derby. It's Shahrastani from Dancing Brave now second. Faraway Dancer's third, and as they go for the line, Shahrastani's the leader. Dancing Brave's in second, Faraway Dancer's third. Close home, Shahrastani's the leader from Dancing Brave.
Starkey was severely criticised for his performance at Epsom, and as a result lost the ride on Dancing Brave to Pat Eddery. The new combination quickly made amends in the eclipse at Sandown.
Making ground towards the leaders as they turn into the straight with a half mile to go. On the far rail, it's still Grand Harbour. Towards the centre of the course come On the Blues very close behind. Then after these comes Dancing Brave starting a forward move. He's followed by Teleprompter on the outside and Iadis on the outside as they race up to the final 2 furlongs with Triptych now the leader from Bedtime on the rails. Dancing Brave is third. Teleprompter 4, Iadis 5, Bold Arrangement 6. But as they come now to the final furlong and a half, and it's Dancing Brave who sweeps into the lead very, very easily. Dancing Brave from Bold Arrangement and Teleprompter, and coming to the final furlong, Dancing Brave. He's well clear of Triptych, Teleprompter and Bold Arrangement. Going for the line, Dancing Brave well clear of Triptych and Teleprompter.
A fortnight later, they were out again at Ascot, and Dancing Brave confirmed his outstanding ability with an electrifying turn of foot, that later in the season was to win him the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe.
Supreme leader. So now they race towards the turn for home, just over 3 to go. Dihistan's the leader, Shahrastani's second, Shardari on the rails third. Petoski's gone forward, Dancing Brave on his inner. Supreme leader 6, Triptych 7, the 2 pacemakers way behind. They turn into the straight, 2.5 to go. Dihistan leads by a half length, Shahrastani's second. Shardari third, Dancing Brave coming with a steady run on the outside. Inside the final 2 furlongs, there's little to choose between Shardari, Dancing Brave. Shahrastani's back in third and racing now for the final furlong, and it's Dancing Brave who takes it up at the furlong. Dancing Brave goes clear of Shardari in second. Shahrastani's being passed by Triptych, going for the line. Dancing Brave with a clear advantage. Shardari second, Triptyk's third, Shahrastani 4, and it's Dancing Brave at the line.
While Dancing Brave was carrying all before him, Midway Lady was retired, and it was left to Sonic Lady, who'd gone on to win the Irish 1,000 guineas to pick up her mantle. Next up was the Coronation Stakes at Royal
The leader
Ascot.
continues to lead as they start the turn, and now by about 4 lengths. So the leader, Someone Special, Carhew Lady, Sonic Lady after this, Embler, Chalk Stream, and finally Stately Lass. They turn for home, 3 furlongs out now. The leader continues to make the best of her way home, and this one still by 2.5 or so as they come up towards the final quarter of a mile. Someone Special, however, makes a little bit of ground on the outside. Sonic Lady commences a run on the outer. Carhew Lady, this one goes back to 4th place. Embler running on is a very close 5th and improving. Quite a big gap after these to Stately Lass and Chalkstream, and the leader inside the distance where Sonic Lady goes very readily on. Sonic Lady, Someone Special, however, giving little away and continuing strongly. Embler continues to improve, but coming up to the line, it's Sonic Lady.
Sonic Lady then took on the colts and older horses in the Sussex Stakes, and won just as easily.
5 furlongs to run.
Scottish Reel continues to lead, having led from the outset, followed by Bold Arrangement. Blinken for the first time in second. Ephesio is a pretty close third. Pennine Walk remains fourth, and Sonic Lady is still the back marker. They're past halfway now in the Sussex Stakes. They're running to the final 3.5, and it's still Scottish Reel. Scottish Reel the leader. Ephesio moving up now to dispute second, and to take second with Bold Arrangement next behind these three. Sonic Lady is being produced for her effort on the outside. Pennine Walk, the second favourite, is just last. A quarter of a mile to go, and it's still Scottish Reel, but here comes Sonic Lady up on the outside with Ephesio between the two as they enter the final furlong and a half. And now as Scottish Reel gives way, it's the favourite Sonic Lady. Sonic Lady up on the outside, who comes through to take up the running. Sonic Lady with Scottish Reel fighting back, so it's a Michael Stout 1 and 2. Pennine Walk is closing, but he's left it too late, and close home it's Sonic Lady the filly in front from Scottish Reel.
Triptyque may have seen a lot of Dancing Brave's backside during 1986, but she made up for lost time the moment he disappeared from the scene by winning the Champion Stakes. And there was plenty more to come. The 1987 Matchmaker Stakes for a start.
From Motley, just after the lead is the favourite Triptyque, well in touch now. And so as they come now towards the final 3 furlongs, over against the far rail, still Most Welcome alone there, with Pat Edery up the centre of the course. It's Ascot Knight still from Motley. Then comes Triptyque, Sir Harry Lewis. Ali Milor still there. These are followed by Shady Heights. The last two are Chaumière and finally Sharp Noble. So the two outsiders right at the back of the field, which is now headed by Ascot Knight. It's Ascot Knight and Walter Swinburne in the lead. Coming down to the distance, Ascot Knight. But here comes the French pair, Triptyque. And Triptyque coming with a rare rattle on the outside. Steve Cawthon to take it up. But it's Triptyque going on into the final half furlong. Triptyque sprinting away clear. This great 5-year-old coming home in the mud at York from Ascot Knight, Sir Harry Lewis and Motley.
One of Triptyque's most impressive performances came at Newmarket later that autumn, when she won the Champion Stakes for the second year running.
Racing down towards the half-mile marker, and still it's Bold Arrangement from Mill Native on the stand side. Close behind these Triptyque, Blessed Event on the far rail. Risk Me now starting a run towards the stand side, and so too is Most Welcome. And also Don't Forget Me taking closer order as they race up towards the bushes. It's inside the final 3 furlongs now, and it's Blessed Event on the far rails. Mill Native in the centre. Most Welcome and Risk Me towards the stand side, and poised behind these is Triptyque as they come down now to the final furlong and a half. And it's Most Welcome who goes on. Most Welcome now gone a length clear, but Triptyque is flying on the far side. In third place is Blessed Event, but as they go for the line, Triptyque sweeps majestically past Most Welcome and going for home. Triptyque is clear, Most Welcome second, and finishing.
Another French filly successful in her globe-trotting activities was Miesque, who showed a glimpse of what was to come with an emphatic victory in the 87 1,000 guineas.
High arm right behind them, and so too is Minstrella. Milligram going well, about 3 or 4 lengths off them as they race up now towards the final 3 furlongs of the 1,000 guineas. On the far side, Linda's Magic towards the stand side, the leading pair, Polonia. Close behind these invited guests, Minstrella making a forward move, so too is Minstrella. Right behind these comes Miesque and Interval as they pass the bushes with 2 to run in the guineas, and it's Polonia who's now in front from Milligram on the stand side. Interval, then after these comes Miesque, who's got a lot to do, coming now to the final furlong, and Polonia coming under pressure. Interval on the stand side, Miesque on the stand side. These two going clear now of Milligram, Interval, Miesque, but close home it's Miesque and Milligram. Miesque and Milligram very close from Interval. And
the champion sprinter in 87 was Ashdal. Touted as a classic winner earlier in the year, he disappointed in both the 2000 and the Derby. Michael Stout brought him back to sprinting 6 weeks after Epsom, and Ashdal found his true métier.
The far side, Mr. Majestic. Ashdal, one of the far rails. Bluebird is prominent. He's towards the centre of the group. Towards the stand side comes Gaon, followed by Ginny Binny, then Sharp Romance. A Prayer for Wings on the far side, Rich Charlie just in front of that one, and then comes Cricket Ball about 3 lengths off the leaders towards the stand side. So they come well past the halfway point now, and Gaon has the advantage on the stand side. Gaon from Ashdal, then just behind these comes Rich Charlie, and then Bluebird starting a run on the far rails. As they come now to the final furlong, it's Ashdal and Gaon. Ashdal leads by a length, Gaon is second, Bluebird is third, Rich Charlie 4. And well inside the final furlong, it's Ashdal maintaining his advantage, going for the line. It's going to be close between Ashdal, Gaon, and Bluebird.
With hindsight, it was hardly surprising Ashdal failed to see out the Derby trip.
Harry
especially as Steve Cawthon at reference point were intent on running their rivals into the ground from the moment the stalls opened.
As they race into the straight, it's reference point showing a length and a half in front of Ascot Knight. Ashdal is in third, close behind these Ibn Bay on the rails. On the outside, Legal Bit starting a challenge with Sir Harry Lewis. Then comes Percy Fleur, Bellotto making a forward move. So too is Entitled and also Groom Dancer. Coming down now to the final 2.5 furlongs. And reference points made virtually every yard of the running. He's gone 2 lengths clear. Most Welcome is second, putting in a challenge. Ascot Knight is third. Then after these, Bellotto, Love the Groom on the rails, and then Entitled and inside the final furlong and reference point, being strongly challenged by Most Welcome. Bellotto is third. Sir Harry Lewis forward and going for the line. Reference point's the leader. Going to the line, 100 yards. Reference point. Most Welcome's in second. Bellotto's third. And Sir Harry Lewis.
Reference Point's next big win came in the King George at Ascot, and on the rain-softened ground, Steve Cawthon again set out to make the most of his mount's stamina.
A steady turn into the straight with just over 4 to race from here. And it's Reference Point increasing his lead now, a length and a half over Ackerton Ango in second. Sir Harry Lewis on the rails, 2 lengths behind in third. In fourth is Unite. 5 Celestial Storm, 6 Moon Madness, 7 Triptych, 8 Tony Bin, 9 Bourbon Girl, and they're into the straight. 2.5 to race, and it's Reference Point with a 2.5 length advantage now from Ackerton Ango in second. Then comes Sir Harry Lewis third. Celestial Storm making a forward move as they come now to the final furlong and a half, and Reference Point has a clear lead, and it's Triptych who's come into second. Celestial Storm third, and as they go now to the final furlong, it's Reference Point with the advantage in the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond. Reference Point 2.5 lengths clear. It's close for second between Triptych and Celestial Storm, and going for the line, Reference Point close for second, Celestial Storm.
But between the Derby and Ascot, there'd been an unexpected reverse. That came in the eclipse, when Reference Point had no answer to Toto's final furlong challenge.
Starguest off the bridle. Bellotto's third on the rails. Milligram 4, 1 off the rails. Then comes Toto, and Triptych starting her run up the rails as they come now towards the 3 furlong marker in the Coral Eclipse, and it's Reference Point with a 2-length advantage. Media Starguest is wide. Toto challenging up the centre. Milligram comes next with Triptych. Bellotto's under pressure as they come to the final 2, and it's Reference Point with the advantage. Toto the challenger. Triptych's in third. Milligram 4, Bellotto 5, and as they race now to the final furlong, and it's Reference Point being strongly challenged by Toto. Reference Point and Toto, and it's Toto getting the advantage. Triptych's in third and going to the line. Toto and Reference Point. It's Toto with the advantage. Reference Point second, closer, and Toto wins it from Reference Point.
A year later, and Toto was bidding for an Eclipse double. This time he was the favourite, and again the market leader had a fight on his hands.
Racing now around the final turn, 4 furlongs left to run, and Shady Heights just in front of Galitzin. Indian Skimmer and Steve Cawthon tracking these with room to come up on the outside. Tay Wolf a little short of room on the inside, being followed by Broken Hearted. Tony Cruz has got Triptych poised on the outside. Michael Roberts now beginning to run on Toto. Charmer being pushed along, coming down towards the final 2 furlongs now, and Shady Heights goes for home under Tony Ives, goes past Galitzin. Indian Skimmer, Steve Cawthon not getting much response out of him, but Toto is the one who's flying up on the outside. Broken Hearted very short of room and not much pace either as they come down towards the final furlong. Shady Heights, but Toto coming out to challenge him. Toto cutting Shady Heights back, and it's Toto getting his head in front. But Shady Heights on the far side is fighting back again. Shady Heights has regained the lead from Toto. These 2 are clear of Indian Skimmer. Triptych up towards the line, and Toto finds one more gear and gets there.
Now established as the country's top middle distance horse, Toto then confirmed his standing by taking the King George at Ascot.
It's Moon Madness a clear leader by about a length. Unforwain just about second ahead of Percy's Last making ground, just behind Doyoun who's third. Glacial Storm back in 5 but still close up. Then after these comes Tony Bin and Almarad starting a run on the outside, and Toto 2. Last of all is Silver Lane with Soft Machine just in front. Into the straight now, 2.5 to run, and Moon Madness has been passed by Unforwain. Doyoun Doyun is right there, 3 off the rails. Percy's last right up with the leaders. But here comes Toto and Almirad up the centre of the track with a furlong and a half to race now. Unforwain comes under pressure. Toto's the challenger in the centre of the track. Almirad is in third, then comes Tony Bin 4. Percy's last 5, Doyun 6, but it's Toto. It's Toto who takes it up as they go now for the final 100 yards. And Toto with a clear advantage from Unforwain. Tony Bin's in third, Almirad in 4 on the line. Toto from Unforwain.
The one horse who may have threatened Toto's standing was Diminuendo, but Henry Cecil was keen that she should not yet take on the older horses, despite putting up a sparkling performance here in the Oaks.
Tottenham corner, and it's still a troper with a 2-length advantage. Sunday Sport Star a clear second. Bahamians in third. Princess Janista making a shade of ground in 4. Animatrice comes next with Diminuendo on the outside, making some ground towards the leaders as they turn into the straight with 3.5 to run. And it's still now Sunday Sport Star, who's gone 3 lengths clear of Bahamian in second. Then after these, Princess Janista and Diminuendo, who goes into third. Animatrice comes next. Indian Rose, Dabaware on the outside. Katina with 2 to run. Diminuendo has gone clear. 2 lengths clear for Diminuendo. Sudden Love has gone second. Animatrice third. Indian Rose 4, and after these, Bahamian 5. As they come now to the final furlong, Diminuendo, they can't catch her now. 4 lengths clear of Sudden Love in second. 5 lengths, 6 lengths going for the line. Diminuendo storms clear of Sudden Love, Animatrice for third, and Indian Rose in 4.
Later in the season, Diminuendo went on to bid for the final classes, but up the straight she could never get to grips with Lady Beaverbrook's Minster Son, ridden by his breeder, Willie Carson.
3. Sheriff Star, the second favourite, being produced by Tony Ives now. Then Top Class dropping back as Diminuendo goes 5. Coming to the last 3.5 furlongs in the St. Leger, and there are 5 of them really bunching up now. Matsicano, Minster Son, Zaffaran, and both the 2 market leaders, Sheriff Star and Diminuendo. They've gone for home and they've gone clear of Top Class. Down to the final 2.5 furlongs, and Minster Son now staying on over on the inside, but pressed by Sheriff Star and Diminuendo, little between the 3. They're inside the final quarter, and it's Minster Son now being ridden along on the inside as Diminuendo is produced for her challenge by Walter Swinburne. Down towards the distance, Minster Son being really pushed out now as Diminuendo tries to close. These 2 have gone clear of the second favourite, Sheriff Star, and it looks like Minster Son and her breeder, Willie Carson, coming up towards the line. Minster Son wins the St. Leger from the favourite Diminuendo.
Though second best there, Henry Cecil ended the 88th season with the satisfaction of bringing the previous year's French Oaks winner, Indian Skimmer, back to her very best. Once given the office, she burst through the mist and turned the Champion Stakes into a one-horse race.
Indian Skimmer is taking closer order towards the stand side. Doyun making his ground on the far side, but Indian Skimmer's quickened into the lead in 2 strides past the 2 furlong marker. Indian Skimmer went clear. She's 3 clear. Persian Heights in second. It's close for third between Shady Heights and Doyun, but with 150 yards to go. Indian Skimmer strides clear. Indian Skimmer, the filly, well clear now of Persian Heights in second. Doyun's gone into third, ahead of Shady Heights 4.